I was, my name is Nancy. Well, my maiden name, which I hated, was Half, and I changed it to Waskiewicz because this is how my feelings are always from a Waskiewicz family because I was more or less interact more into Waskiewicz family when I was growing up. I was born in Onion Lake, Saskatchewan in 1940 in a tent by my grandmother and grandfather's house outside the tent. And there were two old ladies, apparently, that were midwives to my mom. My mom told me that. And it was a sunny morning, 6 o'clock, Sunday morning, I was born. I was a very like tiny baby. Apparently, I was only 6 pounds, and my mother told me this story. So when as I was being born, my one of my uncles, Charlie Waskiewicz, was making a swing for me, getting ready, and had that swing close to the ground. And I was more or less touching the ground when they were swinging me. Mind you, I guess I wasn't a crybaby. I didn't cry that much when I was born. So I was mostly raised in Onion Lake. Spent a lot of time out there. I guess that's my the happiest times of my childhood was in Onion Lake because my dad was an alcoholic, very abusive, and I was terrified of him. Also, my mother, because they were both in residential schools, they didn't show no kindness or love towards me when I was growing up. And the only ones I received that kind of affection was from my grandfather, more so from my grandfather, because my grandmother was also raised in residential school, my mom's mom. And she was in school at Blue Quills in Saddle Lake till she was 15. So she didn't show that much uh, hugging or anything like that, but she loved it. Me, I used to sleep with her all the time. I even slept with her when I was about 4 to 1. That was the last time I slept with my grandmother. That's how much I loved my grandmother. Looked after her. And then I'll go back to Saddle Lake, go stay there for a bit, then go back to Onion Lake. I think I more or less grew up in Onion Lake till I was around 13. I was put in residential school when I was 6 years old in Onion Lake. I had long hair, and I thought I was going to go on an adventure. I was so excited going to school there, because I thought, oh, there'll be a lot of kids to play with. That's what my thoughts were. But when they cut my hair, I was shocked. They cut my hair real short. And then all the rules that I had to follow out there, keeping silent for a long time. And I wasn't called by name. I had a number. Can't remember what the. I thought about it here. Oh, I think I was number 13. I'm sure I was number 13. I don't know why it stuck with me. And they don't call us by name, they call us by number. So you have to answer when your number is called up. And we uh, we had to stay quiet for a long time when you go to, they call it the recreation room. We were given certain times to play and talk, and we had to line up to go eat. Before we eat, we had to pray, standing up, and we had to stand up again and pray before we get out of the dining room. Come back to our recreation rooms all silently. Then we have to stand silent till we're told to, okay, you can play now for half an hour before we get ready for class. Uh, Our day starts in the morning from 6 to 8 every day. That's our day, and every hour we had certain hours to certain things. We were all given the chores to do, like some girls had to go the dormitory, we call it dormitory, where girls sleep. They had to sweep and wash the floors and dust. And I did all that, from washing floors to washing the stairs, 3 stories high. I don't know how many stairs we had to wash. We had to use a toothbrush to wash the corners. We had to wash all the corners to make sure there's no dirt in the corner. All the way from upstairs right down to the bottom. And we have to do that before school starts. Classes start, which is about 8:30. We start about, maybe 7:45 or something. And some of the girls had to work on the dining area where they wash floors, do the dishes. Some girls worked in where the nuns eat and where the priests eat. Some girls had to work in the kitchen area. And these girls were like, say, from 10, when you're 10 years old, that's when you start getting more heavier work. And I was 6 when I went to school, and I was used to sweep the floors and wash the stairways. And lucky thing, my mother taught me how to kneel down and pray and say my name and my 1, 2, 3s and my ABCs, and how to write my name before I went to school. I guess it was really important that I learned that, all those at home, because in the classroom I would see the girls, and not only the girls, but the boys were being strapped because they didn't know how to spell their name, didn't know how to write their name, didn't know how to count or say their ABCs, didn't know how to pray. And I guess my mom was trying to save me from all that strapping, which she did. And where I see my other classmates going through that. So I was not. I was there 1946 till 1953. That's what, 7 years. But I never, I only reached grade 6 because I was always in the sick. I was a sickly girl. I don't know why. I was always sick. I get sent to bed. Just once I landed in the hospital because I was really, 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 really sick. And then I had my appendix out. And I came home and I had bad infection. My operation. I was not even sent in the hospital when I had that problem. When I had that. So you weren't really looked after when you were sick also. I guess that was a lot of times there was missing kids. I don't know what happened to them. Only one, I remember we were called to all stand in a line and be quiet, and we were told to go to the chapel. And so we all stood in line. I was about maybe 8 years old, 9, I'm not sure. We went stand in line and we're going to the chapel. And I seen this, my classmate, there was a boy in the coffin by the hallway. He was in the hallway there. We all had to file through going to the chapel. We had to pray for that little boy, pray for his soul so he can go to heaven. That's what we were told. And then when we came out, they must have taken him away. I don't know what happened. I don't know where they buried him. I don't know. So that was the only incident or witness that I know of that we see the dead boy in there. That was in Onion Lake, St. Anthony's School. Yeah, that was in St. Anthony's School. And it was strict. The nuns were strict. And when we took our baths, we had a basin upstairs in our dormitory, long, how would I say, cupboard or whatever. It was long with basins in there. That's where we had water in there, and we had to take a sponge bath, not taking a bath. And there was only one bathroom, one tub, and they would select girls to go take a bath, all in that same water. They'd take turns taking a bath, that same water. And our mattresses were made out of straw. Twice a year we had to clean out our mattress. We had to go throw the straw out and put clean straw in and bring it back to our beds. That was our mattress. And our blankets were what you call army blankets. They were army blankets, real rough. Our pillows were made out of straw. And we had sheets, yeah, old sheets. And kids that wet their beds, they had to wash their own sheets. They were given the strap when they wet their bed. And of course, the straw stinks because, they wet their bed, it goes right into their straw. That was in St. Anthony in Onion Lake. And during Lent, On Fridays, we only had bread and milk in the mornings all day. That was supposed to be our sacrifice every Fridays. On Good Friday, we only had one meal. Not, no, we don't call that meals. Called we had bread and milk or bread and water all day, just once. That was Good Friday. Only Saturday we had a little bit to eat. Of course, Sunday we had our regular meals: bird boards, sour milk, burnt toast, and sour potatoes, sour stew, whatever. Everything was sour. That's that's why I hate eating sour. I hate eating stew. I don't like stew now. The only thing I like is porridge and burnt toast. I can't stand anything burnt out, like any kind of food that's burnt or sour. We did a lot of work. We had to be perfect. The nuns used to always come and check, see if our work was perfect. If we didn't do it the right way, they'll have to do it all over again. And when you work in sisters' refectory, they call it, or the priest, and when we come out of there, they make sure they check our pockets or anything, so we won't come out of there with or steal anything, because, like, we were always hungry. We were always hungry. And there was an old man that used to break bread, had a little bakery house not too far from the school there. And we used to sneak there, and he would give us bread on the slide. Like, we would divide that bread because we were hungry. And if we get caught, we get a strapping. And I had to go to church every morning. On Sundays, God, I used to dread Sundays because I'd go to church in the morning, noon, and evening, and pray like at night. One time I was counting how many times did we pray during the day. Every day we get up in the morning, we pray. We go to chapel, we pray. We go downstairs to our recreation area. Before we go to our dining room, we pray. Then we pray again before we eat. We pray again after we eat. Then we pray at the classrooms. When we enter our class, we pray. And after 4 o'clock, we pray. Evenings, we pray. It's happened 10 times a day we pray. So that was, I guess, to make us holy. I don't know. And then we had to say our rosary every day. Every evening, say about 6 o'clock, we had to say our rosary. We had to kneel down on the cement floor for 1 whole hour. It was hard on our knees. Every time we tried to sit down, like we weren't allowed to sit down to pray. We had to kneel down right through after we finished saying our rosary. And then we had to wash the floors with our hands and knees, wax the floors with our hands and knees. Yeah. I guess that That experience I had, I guess, it's one of the reasons why I used to be strict with my kids to do things right, make them work, like clean the house, wash the dishes, clean the yard. But I didn't really teach them in cooking. But I did teach them how to clean up, make them work. Now I was strict with them because that's all I learned was strict. Even my parents, they were strict. They were strict with me. So that's how I brought up. That's what the impact I had from residential school. That's how I brought up my kids. Actually, no, I didn't. I did not lose my Cree because we used to go in the corners. Us Cree girls, some of us Cree girls, we used to go in the corner and talk Cree on the sly. And on the lake, it was easier because my grandfather used to come and visit us every second day and talk Cree to us in the parlor. And the, and now we talk Cree to him, talk Cree. So I did not lose my Cree out there. I kept my Cree. And what what I what I had seen was that um, the nuns, whoever they caught talking Cree or their language, they'd wash their mouth with soap, and or slap their mouths so they wouldn't talk their language. But some of us girls, we were lucky we didn't get that. And also, my grandfather was there to talk to us in Cree. And I had all five of my kids. We talked to them in Cree, from my oldest to what's one, Roland. I think was the fifth one. But anyway, we talked to them in Cree. The three older ones, like my my son Henry and Doreen, Perry, and Fabian and Daniel, they didn't know a word of English when they went to school. Especially the two older ones, because we talk Cree to them all the time. Then we start talking a little bit of English to them till they went to school in white white school. That's when we start talking to them in English. Because I see like they were told not to talk Cree also in school, so not to teach them talk English. And I don't talk to my grandkids or my chapads Cree. If they ask me a question, how do you say that in Cree, or if they're interested, then I'll tell them. Like I said, I was brought up strict. At home in residential school. Yes, I did have a difficult time in parenting. When I think of it now, I was too strict to my kids. When I when I think now, I wish I knew what I know now. The time when I was bringing up my kids, it would have been different. I love my kids. I still do. I love them very much. But I guess it was just the upbringing that I had. Um, what I was shown, that's what I followed. I thought it was the right way. Yeah. Uh, I'm not too sure what. I guess if they want their servants towards me now, like kind of, I guess more or less, I'm more quiet now. Before, I used to play lots with my kids and my grandkids, play with them. That's one thing I did, was play with my kids and my grandkids. I'll joke with them, try and try and be there for them, and try and be there for them as much as I can. And just for me to try and teach them the honest way of life as much as I can. Uh, no, it did not impact me with my relatives because like, I had cousins in the residential school. More so in Lake, I had a lot of cousins there, and my grandfather, uncles, and aunties used to come and visit quite a bit. And at Blue Quills, it was totally different. I'll be lucky if I see my parents within those 10 months, twice, or my grandparents maybe once. That was a lonely place to be in Blue Quills. There too, it was really strict. I had strappings at Blue Quills because I used to talk quite a bit, like, and I'd get caught talking. That was my downfall. And I had my brother in the school too, and I was trying to see them when we were eating. Like, I would turn my head and try and see them, and I would get pulled by the hair, go stand in the middle of the aisle and face the boys while I'm eating, take my plate and eat. All because I wanted to see my brothers. It was a lonely place to be at Blue Quills. It's like, I was more lonelier there than I ever was in Onion Lake. And when, yeah, I don't know, in the community, and I used to love visiting my relatives. And I interacted more in the community. I guess for me, like, I was more like a person that liked to help people, more or less. I Not more or less, but I was always trying to help people as much as I can. But the man I married was totally different. He didn't like me doing that. He used to give me shit over that. God, maybe it's because of residential school too. Because I used to tell me not to be a suckhole to people. I didn't know if I was a suckhole. I don't know. To me, I took it as helping people out. When I think the residential school had lots to do with it because I remember my grandparents were strong in their traditional ways, their spiritual ways, and that's where I learned a lot of, the traditional ways from my grandparents. But being told in residential school that they're praying to the devil or whatnot, that to break us up, and they even smudging, it was forbidden. Sweats was forbidden. Sun dances was forbidden. And everybody had to do, a lot of people had to do that in the sly. They hide if they want to do those things to keep it alive. And I think those old people that used to go out in the bushes for to make their sun dances, to make their sweats, and to smudge. That's where I learned that. It's still traditional ways, spiritual ways is still pretty weak. People are struggling to find their ways yet. Okay, the first time when Harbor apologized to the native people, I know he was not sincere on TV, and I got really upset. I was really upset. I didn't, I have no trust in the white society, white people, even with their money. Just nothing can buy back, buy us back where we were, to try and make up for what we were before. They'll never make up for all the damage that they have done to us. They'll never. I don't care. They can give us millions and millions of dollars. They'll never repair the damage that they have done to us and still are doing to us and still discriminating us. And as for the Pope, he can go to hell. He doesn't. The people had to go out there to go to go for an apology. I didn't agree with that. If the church or the Pope really wanted to apologize to the people, he should have been the one coming out to us and sincerely apologize. But no, they had to go to him, and then he comes here. No, I don't agree with him even coming out here. He should stay where he belongs. And I don't believe in the church what they're doing. I believe in the Creator. Like, I believe in the Almighty. I believe whatever He gave us here on earth. Like, I got into an argument a few years back with one of the counselors that time. He was also a residential school product, and it was a sweat holder. And that time, my cousin passed away, and he had wanted to be buried in the bushes where his place is, under a spruce tree, because he had told me that. So, out of respect, we would talk to the consul, and we had a fight too. Like, they didn't want him to do it. They didn't want us to do that. But I fought for him, that I said he would get his last wish, because he never got any help from you guys anyway. And this guy that was uh, a sweat holder, and he says to me, That place is not even blessed where he wants to be buried. And I looked at him and I said, blessed? Who blessed the bird? Who do you think blessed the place? The priests? With their hands? I said, the priests don't bless the earth. Our Creator, everything He put here on earth was blessed. It's holy and it's blessed for us to use. So don't tell me that. I said, it's blessed wherever we are, the ground we walk on, it's blessed. We should be thankful that we walk on the blessed ground the Creator allowed us to use. And I said, there's no way that he's going to go to that cemetery out there. He's going to be buried beside his house, behind his house where he wants to be. And that's where we buried him. Oh, first of all, what I had done for myself, it was hard because, like you're being brainwashed by the church. And when I turned back to my traditional ways, my spiritual ways, that was in the 70s. I was really, really mixed up. I didn't know whether I was doing right or wrong. And what my mom said that time, is that you won't go wrong. You believe both ways, because we all pray to the one Creator. You won't go wrong if you want to pray in church, or you want to pray in a sweat and sundance. And then I asked another elder, and he said the same thing. Because we all pray to the one Creator different ways. So I haven't really, pushed my Catholic teachings aside. I do say some prayers the Catholic way, but I had followed my traditional ways, my spiritual ways more. I went for fasts, I went to sundances, I go to feasts, I go to sweats. And more so try and be humble as much as I can. Again, I went back to helping people, whichever way I can. But right now, I can't do nothing because I'm sick now. And I'm getting worse. I'm not getting any better. I feel like that my time is limited. But I'm accepting it. Okay, and the message I always want is that to love yourself, to love love the people, be humble, be honest, help people as much as you can. Don't be greedy. Try your best to lead a good life and walk the red road. That's what we were given as Neo. Oh, final thoughts on healing is learning. For me, that's a big one because I had to learn how to forgive myself for all the wrongs that I did. I had to learn how to forgive myself that. I had to learn to love myself because I didn't love myself. I thought I was nothing because that's how I was told a lot of times that I was no good, I was nothing, and I grew to believe that. So I had to kind of unwind everything. I've gone through a lot of therapy, different type of therapy, to go into my healing, and that's and also what my healing is going to sun dances and sweats and fasts to get my strength of my spirituality back. That's where I got my strength from. Sebaga nas kum na pisquaid tan maga put na make kiwe miosik up chiwe kisto ut ke dirano pinakabemok akabemok kwese tutabek akabemok matsuno tuma gamesok tuma game kitsay sino wichi so Bakis pag same no ay.